Hi guys, I put up a post recently saying ask me anything. As always, a post that's fraught with dangers because of course I said ask me anything and it could literally be anything. The assumption on my part being of course that I'm the brown car guy, so surely the questions might be automotive or motoring related, but not necessarily, as you'll see from the very first question that I was asked.
Brown car guy.
So the first question that I was asked was, why do hairs grow in my ears? Well, because God has a sense of humor. And then I was asked, who invented the wheel? Well, I reckon it was probably somebody in a hurry that dropped a plate and saw it roll down the hallway and thought, that could be a quicker way to get somewhere. Honestly, the real truth is that nobody actually knows, because they can trace the wheel or the concept of the wheel all the way back to the Mesopotamia, a long time ago. So it's from a long time ago. Oh, now here's a good one. No budget, one man road trip to Pakistan. What car do you choose? I've got to say, that's a pretty easy one. It's got to be an old Toyota Corolla. It makes perfect sense. I mean, the Toyota Corolla is the most robust and reliable car on the planet. It'll drive happily around the world without giving you any trouble. It won't demand anything of you. It's completely fuss free. And when you get to Pakistan, you could probably sell it for a profit and actually recover all of your expenses for that journey. This is a sweet one. Out of a Lancia Fulvia, an Austin Healey, or a Honda S800, which car would you most like to drive in 2023? Well, I've done the S800. In fact, the review is on my channel. I'll put a link below, or just search for it on my channel. So I've ticked that one. The other two I actually haven't driven. I've been in Austin Healey's, but I haven't driven one. So that could be a good one. But I've got to say, the Lancia Fulvia has always caught my eye, that one. Any offers? When do you think electric car prices will become more affordable rather than the high price tag at the moment? Very good question. We have approached that a little bit this year with the surprise pricing on the newly revealed or launched MG4 EV. A fantastic all-electric car. I really like it. I like the looks of it. I did a review of it, and again, I think I'll either put it in the description or you can find it on the channel. A very, very good car, and they priced it at £25,000, and that's a compact family SUV crossover type thing, so it's not bad at all. And when you say, okay, 25,000 is still on the high side, well, actually, if you think about it, prices in general have crept up, and when you think of a mid-range Ford Focus, you're probably thinking about maybe £16,000-17,000. In fact, you'll probably spend about £25,000 on a car like that. So to have an EV at that price point is not bad. However, what people really want to see is EV prices close to £20,000 or less. I think we're maybe a little way off from that, because most experts agree the price parity in terms of electric cars and traditional ICE cars is probably going to be achieved in 2025, so about 2 years away, or just under 2 years away. Although I wouldn't be surprised to see electric cars being launched with a price tag of under 25,000 next year, which is 2023, as I also predicted in my predictions video. Which do you think is the best Transformer film, the Michael Bay films, that is? Well, I guess it's got to be the first one, really, because they all got a bit samey and a bit, you know, same thing over and over again after that. But the first one, the shock value of live action, where you saw cars turn into robots, fighting robots that could do all kinds of stuff, and vice versa, robots turning into cars, I thought was just extraordinary. Just the way that they animated it, the way that they CGI'd it, the way that they showed that happening. And of course the cars are really cool as well, because they had that deal with General Motors to start with, and there was a couple of concept cars as well as a Camaro and etc, etc. So I've got to say the first one. And of course, what was that actress leaning over the over the bonnet of the Camaro? I think that alone made the film worth watching. What do you think of anti-station wagonism? And station wagonism, by that they mean estate cars as well. So station wagons in America, estate cars on this side of the pond. I don't think there is such a thing as anti-station wagonism, to be honest. I think that the car buying public has moved on. They've moved on to SUVs because, you know, people and families in particular generally fall in love with SUVs because, you know, they do offer pretty much the cargo capacity and passenger capacity of what used to be estate car station wagons, but in a more compact footprint with a higher driving position to give people more visibility in terms of where they're going, and then people feel safer and more secure different, those cars. Whether they are or not, a different story, different video, but I think that's the general perception. So I don't think that's the case, but I think that, you know, even now with a few manufacturers that are still offering station wagons, estate cars, and not many are, but every time you do see one, I think that there isn't a feeling of anti it. Generally the feeling is, oh, that's a cool looking car. I mean, there isn't a cooler car on the planet than an Audi RS6 Avante, which is a station wagon estate car, but one of the fastest ones you could buy. So I'd say no, I don't think that exists. Why are motorheads obsessed with V8s? Well, for me personally, I've got to say it's the grunt, it's the torque that you get, you know, the instant torque that you get, but also it's the sound, the rumble, the theater of that staccato rhythm that you get when you put your foot down. And also with the older V8s, or the older muscle cars you like, it's the vibrations, it's the way that you can feel that engine throbbing in the bonnet in front of you. I'm sorry if this is getting a little bit too sexual, but you know what I mean. It's that whole package. No, that's still, anyway. But that's the thing, right? You feel it, you hear it, you sense it, you drive it. It's just the magnificence of that motor, I think, is yet to be surpassed. I mean, I actually personally prefer V8s over even V10s or V12s. But yeah, hey, more cubes are better, but you know what I mean. V8s still rock in my book. How convinced are you that electric cars are the way forward? Well, I'm convinced that electric cars are viable, that they're here to stay, and that they are certainly part of our automotive road transport future. They're generally, they are going to be. I wouldn't write off the concept of me buying an EV at some point in the future. I think that's perfectly possible. But I think that EVs are part of the future solution of road transport, and I think that really we need to take a holistic view, and we need to look at all possibilities and all alternatives, including other alternative fuel situations such as hydrogen, such as fuel cell, but also traditional ICE engines like I'm in now, because of course we have synthetic fuels and e-fuels which involve either using sources which are not harmful to the environment, or extracting carbon back out of the atmosphere, which is always a good thing, to turn it back into fuel again, so thereby making the process of using that fuel carbon neutral, which I think certainly is going to be of benefit to things like these classic cars in the future. So I think, yes, electric cars definitely are good. They're here to stay. They're definitely part of the solution, but they're not the only solution. We've got to look at other things as well. Another question: why is it that people who can't drive are legally allowed to drive? I think it's very simple. It's to make driving more challenging, interesting, and exciting for the rest of us. And here's another one. What should I have for dinner tonight? Well, today being Christmas Day, when I'm recording this and when the question was asked, I reckon it's pretty obvious. You should have a Christmas turkey korma. And finally, a question that I often get asked, although this one's from a buddy, so he's just being a bit cheeky here, but why brown car guy? Because I is brown, innit?
Brown car guy.
Hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please hit the like button and share this video as well if you can. And while you're at it, check out these guys who also sponsor my content. I am deeply grateful to them because it helps me to buy new equipment, put fuel in the cars, and yes, buy a cup of coffee. You can do the same. Just go here or right here on YouTube. Just hit these three little dots down here and click on thanks. Make sure you're signed in first. My content is free, but this is how you can help me keep it that way. I may even send you a gift. Oh, by the way, watch this next.